Hey there, roller flyers. I'm starting out a new video series to keep you up to date with what's going on in the world of Rollerfly. Thank you to the hundreds of supporters out there around the world who have helped us spread our wings and share Rollerfly around the world. In this first episode, we're going to take a look back at the history of Rollerfly and how it came to be the preeminent product for inline goalies around the world to slide around in their little creases. But, oh my god, before we even get to that, did you guys see this? Take a look at Goldberg. Oh my god. So this is the actor Shaun Weiss, who was the actor that played Goldberg in the Mighty Ducks series. Dude got arrested for burglarizing a house and he was high on meth and everything. Don't do drugs, kids. See, this is what happens when you stop playing hockey. Keep playing hockey, don't do drugs, don't break into houses, don't do meth. Ugh, poor guy. He doesn't look like he can stop a puck at all now. Man, I remember the Mighty Ducks was like the reason I started playing hockey. And Goldberg, yeah, he was one of the reasons why I started playing goalie. Speaking of staying in hockey, I am entering my 28th year of playing inline hockey. Oh my god, it's almost time to retire. No! So, this is Rollerfly Live. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave a comment below, and remember, hit that subscribe button the way Chris Pronger hit Justin Bieber. So I've been a roller goalie since about 1994, and I didn't actually play ice until about 2015. So my whole career has centered around being a dryland, inline roller goalie. Now, around the mid-2000s, goalie pad design started to change. They started coming out with the butterfly pads, where you go down on your knees and your pads rotate and form a wall. It became that nice butterfly style. I had to leave behind the stand-up pads that I had grown up with. On dry land, going down into a butterfly is easy enough. However, on ice, goalies were introducing sliding movements laterally that you couldn't do on dry land, and these movements were taking the hockey world by storm. On dry land, these movements were just impossible to do. We had to come up with our own motions just to accomplish the same type of movements laterally that ice goalies could do easily. We were either hobbling around on our knees, or we were sliding around on the edges of our skates or the toe of our skate, and that's just not the same thing. So I bought these new style of pads thinking that I could accomplish the same kind of butterfly movements on dry land that these guys were doing on television. I wanted to slide. I started out making plastic plates out of those big storage tubs you could buy at Walmart. I would just cut them up and I would zip tie them to the insides of my pads. They slid a little bit, but not great, and they broke. I was literally making new plates every other week. After a few months of that, I found some information on the internet. There's this message board that a lot of goalies were going to and posting and talking about all kinds of goalie related stuff. And there was one big thread specifically about making slide plates. And I want to throw a big shout out to Dorian Venata. I know you're watching this, bud. Thank you. So I took his advice and a lot of other goalies' advice, and I started making better slide plates. It was better materials, it was better design, better craftsmanship, and I used these plates for a few years and they worked well enough. I had a lot of players comment on my plates and were genuinely surprised and shocked when I did slide, and I wasn't even sliding that much. And some of these guys were telling me, hey, you should patent that, you should build that, you should sell that, you should make these. Big problem with that idea, I had custom made these plates for my pads. It would have been nearly impossible to make these kinds of slide plates for every brand of pad, every size of pad, every model of pad. They took hours to make, and they eventually broke. Now, one day I was at FedEx picking up a box, and there was this tray at the counter with all these ball bearings on them, and the FedEx worker would just put the box on top of that tray and he could spin it around, scan the box, and send the box down to the conveyor belt. I saw that and I was like, bazinga! And a dream was born. I was like, oh my god, why doesn't somebody just put ball bearings onto the pads or onto the plates and we could just slide on those? Wouldn't have to slide, we could just roll. I searched and I scoured the internet, and there was just nothing. There was no product on the market anywhere that I could find that had ball bearings in a plate form that we could put on our pads. I would have taken some other product and meshed it into like a slide plate for a goalie pad, but there was nothing. Nada. So I just started brainstorming over the weeks. I just could not get this idea out of my head that we should stop sliding and we should start rolling. Now, around this time, I had met another goalie that I was playing with locally, Jared Barton. Big boy Jared. Now, he was another goalie in the league, and he played roller and ice, and so he knew how to slide. So I approached him with my crazy idea of putting ball bearings into these slide plates. I remember showing him the thick plastic plates that I had bought, and I remember showing him the bag of ball bearings that I had bought. And I remember the look on his face when he put 2 and 2 together and was like, oh my god, we have to do this. That aha moment. And thus, the idea of Rollerfly was born. Stay tuned for the next episode as I continue on how Rollerfly came into being and how you can use your ideas and creativity to create some extra income.